everything about the NAT gateway in the previous video, and in this video we are going to demonstrate how NAT gateway affects the outbound connectivity to the outside world, all the different scenarios that we talked about in the previous video. So let's go through what we are going to do in this demo. I have two VMs, one with the private IP address and one with the public IP address. We'll first check what are their IP addresses for the outbound with the help of what's my IP address. We all know that on the Google. Then we'll place this VM behind the public standard load balancer, and then we'll see how it goes. And finally, we'll create a NAT gateway and see how it changes. Okay, so this is what we planned. And right now, I have this VM, hostname ASR VM2, which has a private IP address. And we do have one VM with the public IP address. Both are in the same VNet. So I jumped from public IP to the private one. And now if I do what's my IP, there we go. It has some random public IP address which is provided by Azure for the outbound connectivity through NAT. Okay, but if a VM has a public IP address, it would have the same public IP address you can see here on the RDP, same IP address for the outbound. Okay, all right, now let's get back to the portal. This is the VM with the public IP address I showed you, and this is the VM with the private IP address. I showed you that as well. Okay, so its connectivity is taken care by Azure, so some random IP that belongs to Azure pool. Now what I'll do, I'll create a load balancer and I put this VM behind the load balancer, standard public load balancer, and then we'll see how the outbound connectivity happens. We'll do the same thing what we did here. Okay, let's go and create a load balancer quickly. All right, there we go. Give it a name. Region standard. Remember, basic doesn't work with NAT. We all know that. We have already established that part, so no need to bother that thing. Place it in a different subnet. We discussed it. So let's create the standard quickly. Use the existing. It is the from prefix pool, and prefix pool we already covered. It's always a standard static public IP addresses. Okay, so it has a public IP address. So we are covering both the things together. Let's review. Create. Okay, and once it is created, we'll add this private IP address VM as the backend, and then we'll see what's my IP, how does it changes. As per the theory part that we have covered, the architectural concept that we have covered, it should come from the load balancer. So whatever the IP that load balancer has, that should be the outgoing IP for this VM. Okay, this one. Let's go and add. Okay, come on. All right, virtual machine IP address, add. Okay, while it is adding, it's validating, and it will add. We go and create one health probe quickly, and the load balancing rule. Why it got failed? Okay. Oh, it is there, right? Okay. retriable error occurred. That's strange. Probe health. Okay. All right, let me check what's wrong with this thing. Can I create the load balancing rule? No, I cannot. So I need the health probe. Meanwhile, I can show you this. We got this IP address, and this VM is behind this load balancer. Okay, let's go here. Refresh it. You see, the IP is coming from the load balancer, same IP. If I go inside and I'll refresh it, because the things is changing at the back end. Now this VM is a part of the load balancer, so it might take a long, but it should show this IP address. And you know, even with the portal, this is the IP address which is showing on the overview of the private IP address virtual machine. Okay, so while it is refreshing, going through, it will take some time. Let's go ahead and create a NAT gateway. Okay, the resource group name NAT gateway, Australia East. It's grayed out. Told you it's regional. It's not zonal. Timed out. It's okay. Public IP. Let's give it a public IP. That should be standard, right? So let me create one. Because I'm not sure the IPs that it is showing standard or basic. It is fine. Oh, I think I did not select it, right? Come on, yeah. Subnet. Configure which public IP address and public IP prefix to use for outbound connectivity. Okay, you can read here as well about the IPs and all. Now here we need to select the subnet. Okay, this is the virtual network and we have these three subnets. Let's quickly check where our this VM belongs to. Its default. Let's put it in the default. Okay, tags, review and create will do. First we'll check this. Of course it will lose the internet connectivity because it is doing some changes, or once I configure the load balancing rule, it will start working. It should start working. All right, come on. Okay, rather wait here. Let's try to create probe again just to prove a point, else you know it started showing here. So of course this is the IP address that it will use. I don't know what's wrong with, or if I, okay, let's try to again create the probe. I don't know what is the problem. Okay, I think it's creating right now. Sometimes this portal acts weird, but that's okay. Now I'm used to it, so I know rather than get into the troubleshooting, sometimes wait, the patience is the key. Okay, rule 1. Now it will start working. Once the rule is established, it will be the backend, and see, it starts working. This is the same IP address that belongs to the load balancer. You can see front end. All right, so you completed two parts. Now go to the third part, review and create. Now this time the NAT gateway is being created. This is subnet based, and this become the property of the subnet. So we are creating this, we are attaching this network gateway to the default subnet where this VM belongs, which doesn't have the public IP address, but this is inherited from the load balancer. And when we do what's my IP, it is showing the IP address of load balancer. So after the net getting configured, let's see what changes happen here. Okay, so once it is creating, I'll be back. Okay, so the NAT gateway is deployed. Let's go to the NAT gateway. Okay, all right, come here, come here. All right, okay, here it is showing. All right, this is the NAT gateway. That's how it looks. You can see it is in this VNet attached to one subnet. It has one public IP address. You can check the configuration from here. It has like 4 idle timeout properties. You can see it's standard SKU. Again, the public IP which is in use. This is in use. Now, this IP should be the outbound IP for the VM which is behind the standard load balancer, or if the VM which has the standard IP attached to it. Let's go to our VM and see. If I refresh it, IP should change, but it didn't. Means a good news. There is something new we are going to learn today because our demo got stuck. Let's see what it is. Okay, so let's see, have we attached this NAT gateway in a right subnet? Okay, NAT gateway somehow attached to the gateway subnet. That's why its public IP address is not working as the outbound for the virtual machines uh, network. So let's go to the virtual machine and see the subnet. It's default, so we need to move it to the default. All right guys, ready to learn something new today. If I choose default and uncheck gateway and save it, it gives an error. So we learned two things. First of all, it should be the same subnet. Always check. Do not attach it to a different subnet. We did attach it to the default, but somehow it falls to the gateway subnet. I'm pretty sure we select default, but it is because there is a basic SKU public IP address in this subnet. If you remember, I showed you there are two VMs, ASR VM1, which is also in default, and this IP address is a basic. Okay, it is a basic SKU. That's why you cannot deploy NAT gateway on this subnet. Right? So during the demonstration, we learned two things. It's very good. Now let's go ahead and move. This is something new again. If you don't know already, let's go and try to move this VM to a different subnet. Let's move it to the gateway subnet if we can, because I don't think there is any gateway here, but let's see if it allows us to do it. Okay. Only for the gate resources, because this is created for that part. I was doubting. So one more thing to learn. Okay, let's go back and put it in the app gateway subnet if we can do that. We have plenty of subnet to play around and keep learning new things or the limitations of these resources. Let's put it in the app gateway subnet. It should work. Yeah, it is working, but it might reboot the VM. So we need to wait. Yeah, VM has gone. So because of course subnet is going to change, IP is going to change, so there would be a little reboot. So let's get back to the VM and check what's the new IP. It's 2.4. Okay, rest the public IP remains the same, which is coming from the public load balancer. Let's go here and try to log in. Okay, cool. If it has been up, we'll be able to log in. So let me log in and get back to you. Okay, the we are logged in, and let's open the Google and try to what's my IP, and this time it should work. You guys must be wondering like whether I planned those issues during the demo or it happens. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is we are here to learn. Whether I'm planning or whether it is happening, we are learning, right? We learn so many new things if we encounter the issues, otherwise we wouldn't be aware these things happen, right? Okay, it's the 219 IP which belongs to the NAT gateway. So it worked, 219. Cool. So this is the demonstration that we did. Hope it helped you to learn something new today, and thank you for watching. You have a good day. Bye bye.